जय गुरुदेव। नमस्ते सभी को। कैसे हैं आप सब? वेलकम टू चैप्टर नंबर 2, द फर्स्ट बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स ऑफ प्रिडिक्शंस, which is called the ascendant or the lagna sign. ओके, तो हमने चैप्टर 1 में क्या पढ़ा? अभी तक हमने क्या कवर कर लिया है? अभी तक हमने हाउसेस कवर कर लिए। वी अंडरस्टूड कि 12 घर होते हैं। वी अंडरस्टूड वो 12 घर के सिग्निफिकेशंस क्या है, उसको इजीली याद रखने के हैक्स क्या है, राइट? और हमने क्या कवर किया? हमने कवर किया प्लैनेट्स, राइट? तो इस चैप्टर में हम देखने वाले हैं कि जस्ट बाय लुकिंग एट दोज हाउसेस, उस हाउसेस में बैठी हुई राशि को देखकर हम एक पर्सन के बारे में क्या पता लगा सकते हैं। दिस इज द फर्स्ट प्रिडिक्शन यू विल डू एज एन एस्ट्रोलॉजर. इट इज एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट for you to understand this concept, as this will build the base for further predictions, right? Okay, so what is lagna, ascendant or the rising sign? लग्ना आपको जैसे कि लास्ट वीडियो से याद होगा इज द फर्स्ट हाउस. 12 घरों में से जो पहला घर आता है वो लग्न कहते हैं उसे, और उस लग्न में जो राशि आती है उसे राइजिंग साइन कहते हैं, राइट? नाउ व्हाट इज अ राइजिंग साइन और द ascendant? A rising sign or the ascendant is the Rashi or the zodiac sign which was rising in the eastern horizon when you were born. Okay, तो फिर ईस्ट दिशा में कौन सी राशि थी जिस दिन आपका जन्म हुआ था, जिस दिन आप पृथ्वी पर प्रकट हुए थे? ओके, दैट इज कॉल्ड द लग्न. तो जो राशि उस लग्न में आ गई उसके बेसिस पर बाकी सारी राशि बाकी के 11 हाउसेस में आ जाएंगी, राइट? तो हर एक पर्सन का लग्न अलग होगा, और अगर लग्न अलग होगा तो अलग अलग घरों में राशियां भी अलग अलग होगी, राइट? विथ मी सो फार? Okay, now what does this do? A Rashi or the Lagna, by coming in the first house, has determined all the other Rashis which go in the other 11 houses. So in that way, it has made a map of your life, right? So for example, a person born on 16th of June 1960 at 6 a.m. Okay, and the rising sign, the sign which was rising in the east was Cancerian. ओके, तो उसके जब कुंडली हम बनाएंगे उसकी, तो फर्स्ट हाउस में राशि नंबर 4 यानी कि कर्क राशि आ जाएगी. ओके, और फिर अगर फर्स्ट हाउस में कर्क राशि आ रही है, इसका मतलब सेकेंड हाउस में कौन सी राशि आ गई? साइन नंबर 5 विच इज लियो. सिमिलरली थर्ड हाउस में साइन नंबर 6 वर्गो, फोर्थ हाउस में साइन नंबर 7 विच इज लीब्रा. करेक्ट? तो इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन क्या हो गया? इसका मतलब ये हुआ दैट दिस पर्सन इज बोर्न अंडर कर्क लग्न and Leo or Sinha Rashi falls in the second house. Second house is the house of family. Okay, and with Leo falling in the second house of family, what does that mean? Is this person will be very proud of his family. This person will come from a royal family. तो ऐसे person का जन्म एक शाही परिवार में होगा. ऐसे पर्सन की फूड हैबिट्स भी बहुत ही रॉयल होंगी. दे विल लव लैविश फूड, दे विल हैव huge amount of wealth, and they will be the kind of person who want to take their family legacy forward, because second house of family is ruled by the proud sign of Leo, right? तो इससे पर्सनालिटी चेंज होगी सबकी. अगर कर्क ना होता, अगर से तुला होता, तो दैट मीन्स द सेकेंड हाउसेस विल बी गवर्न बाय स्कॉर्पियो. तो इससे उसकी फैमिली चेंज हो गई और आपकी फैमिली चेंज हो गई अगर आप कर्क लग्न में पैदा हुए हो तो, राइट? सो हाउ इज इट डिफरेंट फ्रॉम राशि? हाउ इज अ लग्न different from राशि? A Rashi is the sign in which the moon was placed when you were born, whereas a Lagna is the sign which was rising in the eastern horizon and sets the map of your entire life. A Rashi tells you about how you feel on things. That is why people you will see of similar Rashis behaving similarly. अगर आपकी एक टाइप की राशि है और आप अपने जैसे बाकी राशि के लोगों को मिलो तो आप रिलेट कर पाओगे emotionally, because you guys feel the same way on certain things. Feelings come from because it's governed by the moon. But आप देखोगे कि if you are a Sagittarius and you're meeting other Sagittarius, though you see similarity in attitude, but there is still differences, right? For example, even though that person is a Sagittarius, his career is different from yours, his family life is totally different from yours. His father is in the military, your father is a businessman, he is into writing, you are into sports. तो ये डिफरेंस ऑफ इंटरेस्ट या डिफरेंस ऑफ करियर या डिफरेंस ऑफ फैमिली कहाँ से आया? इट इज बिकॉज द राशि विच इज रूलिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर हाउस. सो स्पोर्ट्स इज सीन फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट फिफ्थ हाउस. is different. So that is how your interest on your life becomes completely different, and you think differently on different things. See, the way Rashi controls our mind, the same way a Lagna sign controls our intellect, our pattern of thoughts, how we think. हमारा नजरिया क्या है, चीजों को देखने का. So, for example, if it's a Dhanu Lagna, then they would like to be independent consultants rather than carrying on the family business like Kark Rashi. Correct? Okay. We will delve more into the analysis later, and we will understand the step by step of how to predict a person's life in different parts of his life, seeing the houses in a step by step process. Okay. So before that, हम 3 बार ओमकार कर लेते हैं. So let's close our eyes. Yes, can we have the presentation, please? Can we have the presentation, please? Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, yeah, and before we start, this is the answer to the previous quiz जो हमने लिया था. All right, तो हमने आपसे प्रश्न पूछा था कि what are different aspects, what are the planets which are governing different aspects. So we had given you four four kinds of jobs, and we had asked you to match the planet. तो सही आंसर्स है गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स सूर्य, सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसर would be राहु, पोएट would be शुक्र और वीनस, जिसको शास्त्रों में कवि भी कहते हैं, और एडवाइजर would be none other than गुरु या बृहस्पति. And the person who has got it right is रीचा जैन. So रीचा जी, आपको बहुत 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 बधाइयाँ. Congratulations. All right. With that note, let's start. Okay. So as you can see, this is the ascendant, this is the Lagna, and the sign which was rising in, or sign which is occurring in the first house, becomes your ascendant. Okay. Now, how does this ascendant change? तो आप जैसे स्क्रीन पर देख सकते हैं, these are two separate कुंडलीज. Okay. एक का बर्थ डेट इज 25 जून 2023, हैदराबाद 10:15 AM. तो जब ये इंसान पैदा हुआ था, तो इसके फर्स्ट हाउस में कौन सी राशि थी? जस्ट सी द नंबर, डोंट सी द प्लैनेट्स येट. ओके, कौन सी राशि थी? लियो राशि थी. तो हम बोलेंगे कि ये सिंह लग्न की कुंडली है. ऑलराइट. Similarly, if a person was born on 14 November 1990, Pune at 6:15 PM, we can see that this person के first house में राशि नंबर 2 आती है, which is Taurus. तो हम बोलेंगे कि ये टॉरस लग्न की कुंडली है. और आप एक्चुअली चेकआउट कर सकते हो. यू कैन गो ऑन, दिस इज इंफॉर्मेशन टेकन फ्रॉम drikpanchang.com. So go to drikpanchang.com, enter your details, and you can see how kundalis change, and you can enter multiple details of your friends and families and see how the kundali is changing. Right. तो अभी हमने देख लिया कि कुंडली पे हमें अलग अलग नंबर्स दिखाई दे रहे हैं, एंड अलग अलग ये नंबर्स रिप्रेजेंट डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ राशिस. ओके, नाउ राशिस के 3 प्रकार के क्लासिफिकेशंस होते हैं. एक होता है कार्डिनल, फिर फिक्स्ड और म्यूटेबल. ओके, कार्डिनल, द साइंस व्हिच आर 1 4 signs number 1 4 7 10, that is Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, are called cardinal signs. Fixed signs are signs 2 5 8 11, which is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And the last category is mutable, which is 3 6 9 and 12, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Okay, so before we start understanding the step by step process of analyzing the ascendants, it's very important to know the meaning of these signs, कि ये क्लासिफिकेशन क्यों दिया गया है, इसका मतलब क्या है. सो दिस कार्डिनल फिक्स म्यूटेबल क्लासिफिकेशन इज डन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सिमिलैरिटी ऑफ थॉट पैटर्न्स. ओके, सो देयर दिस इज अ ग्रुप, दिस इज अ क्लस्टर ऑफ साइंस डिवाइडेड इन 3 कैटेगरीज, जो एक जैसा सोचते हैं, जिनका लाइफ में आउटलुक एक जैसा होता है, जिनका स्टाइल या एटीट्यूड एक जैसा होता है. ठीक है, तो let's take cardinal signs from example, and they are not from the same element. We'll get into that more deeply. Okay, तो जैसे हम cardinal, let's start with the cardinal sign. Okay, so जैसे हम cardinal sign देख सकते हैं, we have Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. तो Aries हो गई अग्नि तत्व राशि, Cancer हो गया water sign, Libra हो गया air sign, and Capricorn हो गया earth sign. So though the elements are different, their thought patterns are the same. That is why they have been clubbed under cardinal sign. ओके, सो मतलब वो जो अपनी अपनी एरिया ऑफ लाइफ में सोचते हैं, जैसे करियर, मैरिज, रिलेशनशिप्स, हॉबीज, वो एक जैसा सोचते हैं. तो इनके सोचने का पैटर्न क्या है, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड दैट. सो कार्डिनल साइंस आर बेसिकली लीडर्स. कार्डिनल साइंस आर द वंस हु वुड लाइक टू लीड फ्रॉम द फ्रंट और बैक, who are very ambitious in life, and ये वो लोग होते हैं जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेना पसंद करते हैं और हमेशा चीजों को इनिशिएट करना पसंद करते हैं. Okay, that is their thought process, that whatever I do, I want to be the leader in it, I want to be the top boss in whatever I do. That is their mentality, and they are extremely driven and they are very good negotiators. ठीक है, तो ऐसे लीडर्स जनरली अच्छे लीडर्स बनते हैं, अच्छे पॉलिटिशियंस बनते हैं. एनीथिंग दैट रिक्वायर्स यू टू मोटिवेट पीपल, make people take action, and also that puts you in charge of a lot of people, right? It makes you put in charge, जो मतलब आप बहुत सारे लोग आपके केयर के अंडर है, वो कार्डिनल साइंस करते हैं, क्योंकि इन्हें इन्हें करने में मजा आता है. दे लव बीइंग द लीडर. ओके, नाउ नेक्स्ट इज फिक्स्ड साइंस. फिक्स्ड साइंस आर टॉरस, लियो, स्कॉर्पियो एंड एक्वेरियंस. तो फिक्स्ड का मतलब क्या होता है? फिक्स्ड का मतलब वो होता है जो जो फिक्सेटेड है, जो 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 हिलता नहीं है. सो जैसे ही एक फिक्स मतलब फिक्सेटेड हो जाना, वैसे ही ये साइंस भी बहुत ही स्टबर्न होते हैं, बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग विल्ड होते हैं, और उनका फंडा है माय वे और हाईवे. तो अनलाइक कार्डिनल साइन, उनको लोगों को लीड करने का शौक नहीं है, उन्हें बॉस बनने का शौक नहीं है, उनको उनके सुपर कोई एम्बिशियस नहीं है दैट आई वांट टू शाइन एंड बी द बेस्ट. दे जस्ट वांट थिंग्स टू हैपन देयर वे अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर विल. और ये इनकी एक अच्छी क्वालिटी है कि they are very determined to get what they want, and they usually get it. इनको कभी कभी हम headstrong भी कहते हैं, right? So this is their basic qualities. तो जो आपकी जो भी राशि आपके इस एरिया को गवर्न कर रही होगी, for example, if a Scorpio is in your 10th house, then you will be extremely determined in your career. You will be extremely passionate about having your career being driven your way. You'll be very passionate about doing things that you love, because Scorpio is a water sign, and it's also the sign of emotion. So you will have a career which you're deeply passionate about, right? And you will not stop till you get it. Okay. The third category is the mutable signs. Mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius and Pisces. तो इनकी क्या क्वालिटीज होती है? अब ये कम्युनिकेटिव होते हैं, बहुत टॉलरेंट होते हैं और ओपन माइंडेड होते हैं. तो अभी हमने देख लिया, एक लीडर टाइप के हो गए, एक फिक्स टाइप के हो गए, माई वे और हाईवे. और हमें बाकी के बीच के भी जो थोड़े न्यूट्रल आम लोग चाहिए, जो जो ना तो लीड करना पसंद करते हैं, ना ही स्टबर्न रहना पसंद करते हैं, जो जो बोलते हैं ठीक है आपको जो सही लगे, बेसिकली द जनता, राइट? ऐसे लोग की क्या क्वालिटीज होती है? दे आर वेरी गुड इन कम्युनिकेशन, दे आर वेरी गुड इन रीचिंग आउट टू पीपल. इनके कोई फिक्सेटेड आइडियाज नहीं होते, दे आर ओपन टू सजेशंस, they are accommodating of other people's view, right? So that is the quality of a mutable person, that they can adjust. Because अगर कार्डिनल का भी इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग ईगो होगा और फिक्स्ड पर्सन के माइंड भी इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग होगा कि यही करना है, तो बहुत ही रिजिडिटी हो जाएगी ना आपकी कुंडली में. आपको कई सारी चीजों में लाइफ में कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना भी आना चाहिए. तो वो टॉलरेंस, वो अकोमोडेशन, वो कॉम्प्रोमाइज इन साइंस में सबसे ज्यादा हमें दिखाई देता है. So their thought pattern is let's talk it out, whatever. अगर ऐसे भी करे तो ठीक है, वैसे भी करे तो ठीक है. They're very tolerant and they are always open to new ideas. और उन्हें लोगों से बात करना अच्छा लगता है. They're not necessary to read them, just to listen to them. Okay, that's the quality of a mutable sign. Okay, so before we start the step-by-step process of analyzing an ascendant, there are three rules. Okay, rule number one is the rashis which are in the first house, not the first rashi, not Aries. I'm not talking about Aries. I'm talking about the first house now. Okay, so the rashis in the first house, fourth house, seventh, and the 10th house will be of the same type. राइट. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आपके 10th हाउस में कोई कार्डिनल साइन है जैसे कि कैंसर, तो बाकी 1 4 7 में भी कार्डिनल साइन आएगा. अगर आपके 10th हाउस में सपोज म्यूटेबल साइन है से पाइसिस, तो बाकी 1 4 7 में भी म्यूटेबल साइन ही आएगा. दैट इज वर्गो, जेमिनाई and Sagittarius. Okay, so 1 4 7 10 will have the same type of Rashi, same cluster of Rashi. Rule number 2, the Rashis in the 2nd, 5th, 8th and 11th will be of the same type. Okay, so similar to rule number 1, we are just changing the houses. अगर सेकेंड हाउस में फिक्स साइन होगा तो लग्न से 5 8 11 भी फिक्स साइन ही होंगे. अगर सेकेंड हाउस में म्यूटेबल साइन होगा या तो लग्न से 5 8 11 आप गिनोगे, उसमें भी म्यूटेबल साइन ही होंगे और ये आपको लग्न से काउंट करना है. ओके, we'll see it. ओके, नाउ रूल नंबर 3. अब बाकी कौन से घर बचे? बाकी घर बचे तीसरा घर, छठा घर, नवा घर और 12वां घर. तो जो राशि 3 6 9 12 में है, they will also have the same type of classification. So just like above, अगर 6th हाउस में आपका फिक्स साइन आ रहा है तो 3 9 12 लग्न से 3 9 12 में जो राशि होंगे वो भी फिक्स साइन ही होंगे. अगर म्यूटेबल आ रहा है तो वो भी म्यूटेबल होंगे. ओके, right. Now this is the step-by-step process of how to read an ascendant. So first step is you check the first house because that's the lagna, and you check the rashi in the lagna to determine the basic personality of a person. Okay, तो first house में कौन सी राशि आ रही है. फिर बिकॉज फर्स्ट हाउस इज द हाउस ऑफ योर सेल्फ, तो अगर कर्क राशि आएगी तो मुझे पता है इस पर्सन थॉट प्रोसेस विल बी मोर इमोशनल. इफ अगर उसमें कोई फिक्स साइन आ रहा है जैसे कि लियो, then I know that this person will be very egoistic, will be very confident also as well, right? तो आपने वो देख लिया, आपने फर्स्ट हाउस देख लिया. नाउ गो ऑन द सेकंड स्टेप. If you want to check domains, जैसे marriage is seen from 7th house, family seen from the 2nd house. ओके, तो अगर आपको सपोज मैरिज देखना है तो आप क्या देखोगे? आप 7th हाउस देखोगे, 7th हाउस में बैठी हुई राशि को देखोगे, and you will add the qualities of the rashi with the quality of the house, and then you will come up with a prediction. Okay, right. Now step number 3. देखो, अब ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि everybody who has say suppose you have 6th rashi, you have Virgo in your 7th house, which is governed by both. They say Virgo in 7th house is not good. Correct, it's not good for marriage. But ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि उनकी शादियां नहीं होंगी, उनकी शादियां अच्छी नहीं चलेंगी. That's not necessary. It will be a challenge because basically by the basic kundali that you've got is not conducive for marriage. But the degree, but how good or bad the marriage will be is determined by the degree of the planet which is sitting there. Okay, the degree of impact will be delivered by the planet. तो अच्छा होगा, बुरा होगा, बहुत ही अच्छा होगा, फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, उसके लिए हम planet देखेंगे. So planet is something we will add at the end. For now we are just checking the lagna, we are checking the house, we are adding the house signification with the rashi sitting in that house and coming up with a prediction कि ये बंदा अपने इस एरिया में कैसे होगा, ये कौन से काइंड ऑफ फैमिली में जन्म लेगा, उसका एक्सपीरियंस अपने शादी में कैसा रहेगा, उसका एक्सपीरियंस अपने करियर में कैसा रहेगा, वो फॉरेन जाएगा या नहीं जाएगा, फॉरेन जाने के चांसेस है या नहीं है, if is he born with that kind of kundali. Okay, so now let's step into the analysis. Okay, I am sharing my screen, so maybe we can stop the presentation. One second. Okay, I'll just wait for confirmation to know if this is visible. Please give me a second. Okay, so I guess now we can all see it. All right. So, how do we read this analysis? Okay, so the one in red is our cardinal signs, the one in yellow is fixed, and the green is mutable. So let's start with the first zodiac sign, and which is Aries. Okay, so for example, you were born with an Aries kundali. That means आपके first house में मेष राशि आती है, राशि number 1. Okay, so that means आपके cardinal houses कौन कौन से हुए? That means आपके first 4, 7 or 10 will be your cardinal signs, right? So first house will be Aries and fourth house will be ruled by Cancer. So how will this person be? Now let's analyze the first house. How will this person be? This first house is ruled by Aries, so this person will be physically strong because Aries is a soldier. He will be good looking because Mars gives you that lalima on your face, they say, right? That's soldier attractiveness, that's masculine attractiveness. Okay, he will be self-centered because Aries represents birth, it represents the baby. बेबीज कैसे होते हैं, उन्हें सिर्फ अपना ही भान होता है. They will be blunt, they will be very adventurous, they will be extremely courageous, and they will have very high aggression, lust, and they will be initiators. तो फिर वो अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी खुद लेंगे, वो हमेशा इनिशिएट करेंगे अपने इंटरेस्ट के लिए. ओके, एंड देन वी seeing the cardinal signs, fourth house में हमारी कर्क लग्न आ रही है. So what does that mean? Fourth house is anyways the house of family. और अगर आप काल पुरुष चार्ट में भी देखो, then it is same as the Aries लग्न. Okay, so because Cancer is a sign of nurturing and home, this person will love their home, this person will love their private space, and because it is a Rashi of Chandrama, they will have a good property and land to their name. They will have conveyances and luxury, and they are somebody who will be very very protective, because a mother is protective, very protective of their personal space, their home and their land. And Kark Rashi anyways is governed by Mars, जिसको हम भूमि पुत्र कहते हैं. Okay, so they will love their childhood and they will love their native land. Okay, and now let's come to the next cardinal sign, which is the sign of Libra. So we can see that their house of marriage is governed by Libra. So that means that they will have a spouse who they will in life. Okay, in life उनकी कुंडली ऐसी बनाई गई है कि उनका स्पाउस उनको ऐसे मिलेगा जो बहुत ही इमोशनली और प्रैक्टिकली बैलेंस्ड हो, जो उनकी तरह इनिशिएट नहीं करता, जो उनकी तरह डायरेक्टली चीजों में घुसकर बहस नहीं करता हो, बिकॉज लिब्रा इज अ वेरी सॉफ्ट साइन. Okay, Libra is sign which likes to negotiate, which likes to take the lead in creating peace. Aries is always ready for a war, is always ready for a discussion. Okay, but when this Aries person goes to the marketplace, because seventh house is also the house of business deals, negotiations, and marketplace. When this Aries person goes to the marketplace, he will act like a he will act with Libran qualities. So that means he will be patient, he will he will try to strike a deal or a negotiation and take things peacefully. He will not be very pushy on his views, right? करेक्ट. नाउ अभी हम 10th हाउस को देखते हैं, विच इज द कार्डिनल हाउस, एंड इट्स रूल्ड बाय केप्रिकॉन. अभी हम जानते हैं केप्रिकॉन इज द राशि ऑफ कर्मा, इट इज द राशि ऑफ हार्डवर्क, इट इज द राशि ऑफ डिससेटिस्फैक्शन. तो ये सरप्राइजिंग, तो ये एरियंस भी ऐसे ही होते हैं अपने करियर में. एरीज पर्सन लव्स टू वर्क हार्ड इन हिज करियर, दे लुक फॉर चैलेंजेस. Mostly people want an effortless career, but to an Aryan, right, unless it doesn't challenge him, unless an Aryan knows that he doesn't have to work hard to get something, usko maza nahi aata career mein. So they like to have a career which is hardworking, and they will be seen in the public as somebody who takes the lead in his career, who's very driven, and जो बहुत ही मेहनती है, because Capricorn is a very मेहनती and a hard working राशि, and these people don't tend to be satisfied until they have reached the top. तो आपने अगर एक चीज नोटिस की होगी, if you have studied राशि, only rashis, that a person's rashi and how they act in their career is how they act in the different areas of your life depending on the ascendant is quite similar, right? So there is a reason why Capricorn has come in his 10th house. ये ऐसे ही नहीं आया. It is because it is the very nature of this sign. It is not like 1 के बाद 2, 2 के बाद 3. अगर 1 से शुरू हो रहा है तो सेकंड हाउस 2 से शुरू होगा. अगर लग्न से 4 से शुरू हो रही है तो सेकंड हाउस 5 से शुरू होगा. ऐसे नहीं. There is a logic as to why that particular sign showed up in that particular house. It is because the Rashi's nature is like that. Okay, now let's come to house number 28, 25, 8, 11. 25, 8, 11 will have similar nature. So in an Aries Kundali, houses 2, 5, 8, 11 are governed by fixed signs. Okay, so second house is ruled by Taurus. So Aries come from very cultured families, very well-to-do families, very wealthy families. So they will earn a lot of money and lot of savings from their families. मतलब खाते पीते परिवार में इनका जन्म होगा. Okay, now how good or how bad this will be depends on the affliction on the second house, but this is just a generic prediction that we are making. And we can say a comfortable family life, because Taurus is all about materialistic comforts. Okay, now next fixed house is the house of your children, which is the fifth house, or fifth house is ruled by Leo. So that means Aries are very expressive about what they want. Okay, if they love something, they will go after it. They love to showcase their talents, and Aries is a sign which will be very active in politics, because fifth house is also seen for politics, and वो अपने बच्चों को भी शाइन करने का मौका देंगे. They will put their children in they will put their children on stage. अगर उन्हें पता है उनके बच्चों में हुनर है, then they would like to show off their children in public. But also because it is ruled by Leo, they can have a tendency to be authoritarian with their children. Okay, and the 8th house is ruled by the Rashi of Scorpio. तो Aries का nature ऐसा होता है that they love to investigate deeply. Aries is ruled by Mars. 8th house is also ruled by Mars. So this person will be good in surgery. It will be good in cutting. He will be good at anything that requires you to go deep. So like spy, like investigations, like surgery, जिसमें काटना होता है या गहराई में जाके इंट्रोस्पेक्ट करना होता है. Okay, and they will have a lot of secret deep addictions which they don't talk about. And because Scorpio is ruling the house of sex, they also have sexual addictions, and they also have secret, they have secret jealousy, because both Mars is ruling both the first house and the 8th house. So their sexual drive is very high. Okay, coming to the next fixed sign is the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is sitting in the 11th house. So Aries people, because they are such a cardinal sign, they like talking, they like expressing themselves, जो हमने 5th house में देखा. They also have a desire therefore to be very famous. इसका मतलब उन्हें अपना नेटवर्क फैलाना अच्छा लगेगा, right? And because they're such a hard working sign seen by Capricorn, they also have a desire to shine among people, and they have a lot of ambition, and through their struggle they will get their income after a lot of struggle in their career. because 10th and 11th house is both ruled by Saturn. Saturn will give you things on a delayed basis. Okay. Now next coming to the mutable signs. So हम देख सकते हैं कि Aries लग्न में the 3, 6, 9 and the 12th house is governed by mutable signs. Okay, now Gemini comes in the third house. So that means these people are very active in their hobbies, they're very expressive, they are highly courageous because third house is the house of courage. So what are they courageous in? They're courageous in their communications. So they love journalism, they love writing, and they're very good at marketing anything. Okay, because Gemini is ruling the third house of courage. Okay, Virgo. Now sixth house is ruled by the sign of Virgo. Virgo is what? Virgo is diligence. Virgo is going into the detail of things. Virgo is being neat and organized. Virgo is a sign of finance. Okay, so that is why you will see, because, and what is sixth house? Sixth house is a house of obstacles. Is the sixth? Is the house of competition. Is the house of challenges. So that is why you will see Aries people are not very fond of calculations. They're not very fond of uh, हर एक चीज का हिसाब निकालने में उन्हें मजा मजा नहीं आता. फाइनेंस में उनकी बुद्धि नहीं चलती. तो आपने एक टिपिकल सोल्जर या फौजी को देखा होगा, तो दे आर नॉट वेरी फॉन्ड ऑफ फाइनेंस और उनकी बुद्धि उस फाइनेंशियल वे में नहीं चलती. व्हाई? बिकॉज वर्गो इज इन द सिक्स्थ हाउस. सिक्स्थ हाउस इज अ साइन ऑफ ऑब्स्टिकल. तो अगर ये फाइनेंस में जाएंगे, से अकाउंटेंसी और बुक कीपिंग, they will not like it. Correct. Or sixth house is also a routine task, and Aries is a dynamic sign. So anything which is routine, like your job is a routine, Aries will not like it. Okay, and then the ninth house and the 12th house are ruled by Sagittarius and Pisces. So see, Aries, although it may be a cardinal sign, but they are extremely devoted to their gurus. They are extremely devoted to their religion. वो सबसे अच्छे चेले बनते हैं because they have the ability to also follow a higher authority. So by ninth house, you can say they're very fond of their gurus. They believe in a higher power. They have the ability to learn scriptures, and they have the ability to accept other people's views. But however, being an Aries sign, they're very strong-willed about their own career, और वो अपने opinions या religious views easily change नहीं करते. Right? Now Pisces. Now Pisces is coming in the 12th house. What is the 12th house? 12th house is a house of isolation. It's a house of loss. It is a house of your subconscious mind. एंड उसमें एक स्पिरिचुअल राशि को आपने बिठा दिया. सो दैट मीन्स वो जितना बाहर डायनामिक दिखाते हैं, अंदर उतने ही वो स्पिरिचुअल होते हैं, उतना ही वो आश्रम जाना पसंद करते हैं. वो अपने सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में जाए, देन दे बिलीव इन गॉड अ लॉट, एंड दे want to go to a guru to get guidance and seek spiritual awakening. But also 12th house is a house of accidents, is a house of crime. So Aries, because of that dynamic nature of just rushing into things, they have a tendency to fall flat on their face and oftentimes end up in the hospital, because these people don't think before they act. Right? Okay, so moving on, we have the Taurus ascendant. Okay, now Taurus ascendant की लाइफ का पैटर्न देखते हैं. लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द फर्स्ट, फोर्थ, सेवन, 10th हाउस. तो जैसे हम फर्स्ट, फोर्थ, सेवन, 10 में देख सकते हैं, सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट हाउस, फोर्थ हाउस, सेवंथ हाउस एंड 10th हाउस. तो इसमें कौन से टाइप की राशि आ रही है? इसमें फिक्स टाइप की राशि आ रही है. राइट? सो व्हाट इज टॉरस? अ टॉरस इज अ प्लेजर लविंग साइन. इट इज रूल्ड बाय वीनस. इट लव्स गुड फूड, कंफर्ट्स, एंड टॉरस का ये है कि आई हैव टू बी कंफर्टेबल, आई डोंट नो अबाउट द रेस्ट. राइट? सो टॉरस को ज्यादा मेहनत करना पसंद नहीं आता, उसको कंफर्ट और लग्जरी में लेना पसंद आता है. सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट हाउस, दैट इज दिस इज हाउ दे थिंक अबाउट देमसेल्व्स. और कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग नेचर नहीं होता विद सेल्फ. ओके, लाइक अ पाइसेस होते हैं तो वो अकोमोडेट कर लेते हैं, बट टॉरस ऐसा नहीं कर सकती. Okay, now let's see how are they in their family life. So we can see that when it comes to self, their family, their career, their marriage and their career, they have very fixed ideas. They don't like second opinions, right? So with Leo in the fourth house, you can say that they are very proud of their homes. They are very protective of their homes. So that is what a Taurus is. वो किसी को अपने पर्सनल स्पेस में अंदर नहीं आने देते, और अपना पर्सनल स्पेस, कोई आपके घर पे कोई गेस्ट आए तो अपना पर्सनल स्पेस, अपना कमरा वो नहीं देंगे गेस्ट को रहने के लिए, बेसिकली. राइट? एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो से दैट their mother, because fourth house is the house of mother, their mother will be the leader in the family, because the sign of Leo is sitting in the house of mother, right? Okay, now seventh house. Okay, seventh house is ruled by Scorpio, so they will get a spouse who is extremely passionate, who's extremely loyal and extremely devoted to them, because that is how Scorpio is. Scorpio is a very deep sign. Okay, and because eighth Rashi is also the house of attraction, these are the kind of people who prefer attracting people to themselves, because seventh house is the house of other people, who prefer attracting people to themselves rather than uh, going behind somebody, right? That's why Taurans don't chase. Okay, now 10th house is ruled by the house of Aquarius. तो इसका मतलब क्या है? What is Aquarius? Aquarius is your networking, it's your friends, it's your social circles, it's your wishes, your desires. So that is what they want that is what they want in their career. Unlike Aries, जो हमने देखा, who wants to be ambitious, who wants to be number one in their career, these people just want to have good friends and have a good time in their career. मतलब अगर माहौल अच्छा होगा, लोग supportive होंगे, then they will love to be in their career and they will get their desires and wishes fulfilled through their network circles. They are looking for comfort everywhere, basically. Okay, now let's check the second, fifth, eighth, and the 11th house. So you can see second, fifth, and eighth, 11th is governed by mutable signs. So second house is the sign of Gemini. So although Taurus is a very reserved sign, वो ज़्यादा बात नहीं करते unless they are absolutely required to speak. They like to stay by themselves. They will be born in a family of communicators. They will be born in a family जिनको multiple चीजें करना पसंद है, who are probably into finance because Gemini is ruling the third house, they are probably a family of journalists, so they will have a open communication with their families, right? And because Gemini, the third Rashi, is also a sign of multiplicity, they like to try multiple cuisines, and Taurans love trying all kinds of food. And third Rashi is also the Rashi of Bhog, so they are tend to get a lot of pleasures and comfort from their families. Okay, right. Now, fifth house is ruled by Virgo. What is fifth house? Fifth house is your children, it's your finances, it is the stock market. मतलब सट्टे का स्थान. Okay, जब Virgo वहाँ आएगा, तो that means we can say that Taurans is somebody who is very practical, very diligent when it comes to finances. And Taurans are very good with money because they believe in practically securing themselves, hedging themselves of all risk. अगर आपके जीवन में risk कम होगा financially, तभी आप comfort में रह पाओगे ना. The lesser risk you have, the more money you have, the more comfortable you'll be, right? So they will most probably get the initial training, because fifth house is the house of your education as well. So their initial training will be on building financial security, because that is what a Taurus likes and that is what he is born to do. इसलिए उसकी लग्न ही Taurus आई, so that he can build that financial security in his life. So everybody's playing out the karmic patterns, right? Eighth house is ruled by Sagittarius. So, okay. So, what is eighth house? Eighth house is Nij Dosh. And what is the sign of Sagittarius? Sagittarius is about free will, it is about expressing yourself. Okay. It is about your own values, your morals, your ethics, and religious beliefs. Now, when it goes to the eighth house, that means that Taurans are not very spiritual. They not necessarily believe in following a spiritual teacher or following the acceptable standard moral codes of the society. They are very true to what they believe in, right? और ये अपना opinion generally change नहीं करते. They're very very opinionated and dogmatic, very strong on their personal beliefs. Okay. Now the 11th house में Pisces आता है. Okay, so Pisces, that means that their subconscious mind or their philosophy or outlook, because it's Pisces, or their sensitivity is always towards their friends, because they like having a good time. They like to be surrounded by people. They are a social sign. तो उनके मतलब जो religious views होंगे will be very much shaped, or the spiritual views होंगे will be very much shaped by their friends. That means if my friend does this puja or arti or goes to this guru, then I'll go. Not because I believe in, but if my friend is doing it, I'll do it. Okay, right. So next is the cardinal signs. So where are the cardinal signs following in Taurus Lagna? In Taurus Lagna, it is following in 3, 6, 9th, and the 12th house. So the third house is ruled by Cancer. So that means they will have a mom who is very communicative, very expressive, and they will love writing, creating, and expressing themselves through poems, because anyways Taurus is the sign of Venus, which is also the poet. Coming to the sixth house, sixth house is governed by Libra. Okay, now because Taurus is such a fixated signs and वो अपना views change नहीं करते, जैसे हमने 8th house में देखा, they will, and Libra is a sign of negotiation, they will always be in a sort of a tussle or a sort of a competition to negotiate with others, because they find accommodating others very difficult. और Libra क्या है? Libra तुला है, वो आपके ओपिनियन को तो तोलेगी, अपोनेंट के ओपिनियन को तोलेगी, और फिर एक आंसर देगी. Taurus doesn't like to do that. Taurus likes to have it their way. Okay, and they are likely to get into conflicts with their bosses on wages, and they have a tendency to run their own job like it is their own business, because the Rashi of business, which is 7th house, is coming in the house of job, which is 6th. All right. Right. So now ninth house is governed by Capricorn. Capricorn is what? Capricorn is rigidity, ambition. It is hard work. So because Capricorn is coming, they are very rigid on their views. They don't like to change. They even if they pursue higher education, but because it is ruled by Capricorn, there will be some delay in pursuit of higher education. However, they are very patient people themselves, but they will see a slow rise in career and good fortunes in general. And Guru के blessings भी आएंगे तो बहुत ही धीरे गति से आएंगे उनकी life में. Okay, now Aries. Aries is now coming in the 12th house. Can you see? Number 1 is in 12th house. So what does that mean? Taurans secretly have a very high sex drive. 12th house is also the house of sex, bed pleasures rather. They are very sensuous, they are craving. But because Aries has gone in the 12th house, which is a house of losses, they don't like to take initiative in anything, because they like people to come to them. They don't like to chase behind people. They want job offer to come to them. They don't like to go looking for jobs outside. Okay, now coming to the next Rashi, which is the Gemini. Okay, so as you can see, 369. As you can see, the first, fourth, seventh, and the 10th house is governed by all mutable signs. So, what is a Gemini? Gemini signs are the most multitasking signs in the zodiac. They have a good sense of humor, they are witty, and they're multi-talented, and they are multitasking, and they love changing their minds. So that is how a Gemini's basic mindset is. ये भी चलेगा, वो भी चलेगा. Their fourth house is governed by Virgo, so that means they are very quick, sharp learners in their childhood, and they are extremely good with numbers. जो केजी स्टूडेंट में बच्चा होता है, जो बहुत जल्दी जल्दी सारे सब्जेक्ट सीख लेता है, जो लैंग्वेजेस बोलना बहुत जल्दी शुरू करता है, is probably a Gemini rising. And their homes will tend to be very neat and organized. Okay, now the 7th house is ruled by Sagittarius, so that means they will have a spouse who is very philosophical and high moral values, और जिसके साथ वो बहस करना पसंद करेगा, because 9th is ruled by Guru and the first house is, which is in direct opposition, is ruled by Mercury. Both are enemies. Mercury likes to challenge things, Guru likes to impose the right philosophy and values. तो जैसे स्टूडेंट टीचर में बहस होती है, वैसे होगी इनकी शादी में. Right now 10th house is ruled by the sign of Pisces. So they like to have an easygoing career, which helps them to communicate with people better, right? So these people make a good psychologists, because 12th house is the house of your psyche. It is your subconscious mind. They can also be good doctors, because 6th house is ruled by Scorpio. Scorpio is surgery, doctorate, and 6th is your job, but we'll come to that. Okay, so this is how you connect it. All right. So now the 2nd, 5th, and 8th house में हमारे cardinal signs पढ़ रहे हैं. So that means Cancer rules the 2nd house. They will come from a home which is very caring, very conservative, and very nurturing. So जैसे third Gemini is an outgoing sign, वैसे ही Kark is a very conservative, private, basically very traditional sign, I can say. Okay. So they will get a lot of assets from their mother, because 4th house, because the Kark Rashi is ruling the 2nd house. So they will get a lot of assets from their mother, and their savings will also come from their family and their mother. Okay. Now 5th house. 5th house is ruled by the sign of Libra. Now Libra is all about public. It is about public relations, and Gemini is all about interaction. So they are extremely good at with public relations. They are intelligent, they have a very good memory, they will do very good in learning subjects like law, morals, policy, and in addition to psychology and communication. So they will be very good at mass communication, because it is also the house of higher learning. Right now, eighth house is ruled by Capricorn. Eighth house is कष्टम का स्थान. जब वहां पे आप Capricorn को बिठा देते हो, आप क्या बोल रहे हो? आप बोल रहे हो कि Gemini does not like routine monotonous work. It does not like to work hard and struggle and put efforts. It just wants to go out there, have fun, talk to people, understand how they work, and live a happy jolly life. Okay. Right. Now, 11th house is ruled by the sign of Aries. Aries, they are, so Gemini is like air. They love to interact with people. So, and Aries is aggression, is that drive, is that passion. So, they're very passionate about networking. They will be very good at marketing, and they're highly ambitious, and they will find a way to earn money from their career through their own efforts, talents, or business. Okay, now where are the now 3, 6, 9, 12 में हमारे fixed signs आ रहे हैं. Okay, so third house is house ruled by Leo. Leo is what? Leo is boldness, confidence. So they are very bold in their communications. They will probably have sibling rivalry because it is ruled by Leo. They are very creative because Leo also rules creativity. So they will be creative content writers or movie script writers, right? Now, sixth house is ruled by Scorpio. Now, Gemini people have enemies. For example, Donald Trump. So, and they will have hidden enemies. They will have hidden diseases, and they can have a very good knowledge of medicine. Okay. Ninth house is ruled by the sign of Aquarius. So, what does that mean? Aquarius is public. Ninth house is your temples, your pilgrimage, your morals. So, they will like to network with a people from who have different belief system or different religions and different cultures from there. They are not, उनके morals बहुत flexible होते हैं. They don't have any rigid beliefs like Aries. All right, they're very open to accepting other people and for their beliefs. Okay, now Taurus is falling in the 12th house. Now Gemini is a risky sign. They like to make bold moves. Taurus likes stability. इसलिए Taurus उनका 12वें स्थान में चला जाता है, and that is why 12th it becomes their maraka, because जैसे Taurus को security पसंद है, Gemini को उतना ही action और adventure और risk लेना पसंद होता है. They find stability boring. Okay, now coming to the next sign, it is the Kark Rashi. Kark Rashi, as we know, Chandrama ki Rashi hai, so that means this Lagna is starting from sign number 4. Okay, now let's see which signs are falling in the first, 4th, 7th, and 10th. So first, 4, 7, 10. So first, 4, 7, 10 is also called the Kendra. Okay, so that is ruled by the cardinal sign. So Cancer is extremely sensitive. They need a lot of assurance that they are good enough, and they are the most caring Rashi. So that is how they feel about themselves. They love taking care of themselves and then others. Their 4th house is ruled by Libra, so that means they will have a very balanced childhood. They will be very good in starting the home-based business. They will have beautiful houses, because 7th is a Rashi of business, and it is coming in their 4th house. So business from 4th. You see how it's all connecting, right? Now Capricorn is coming in their 7th house. So that means they will want a spouse who will give them that long term security in terms of finance, in terms of companionship, because Cancerians like to enter relationship for long term. उन्हें रिश्ते तोड़ना बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं लगता. Okay, and the 10th house is ruled by the dynamic sign of Aries. So just because a Cancer is a soft emotional sign, don't think that they are not ambitious in their careers. They are one of the most ambitious people in their careers, and वो अपना जी जान लगा देते हैं to be good in their careers, because the better they do in their careers, the more money they get. The more money they get, the more secure they feel, which is why in the 11th house we can see the sign of Taurus. मतलब सिक्योरिटी कहां से मिलेगी उन्हें? अपने इनकम से मिलेगी, right? Okay, now the second house is Leo. So as we explained earlier, that they are very proud of their family and they like to carry their family business forward. And father, because Leo fifth is also fifth house. Leo is also is governed by Sun, and Sun represents the father. Father will also shape their value system, because second house is your value system. Okay, now 5th house is ruled by Scorpio. Now Cancerians have a very secret sources of income which they make from stock markets. They care very deeply and passionately about their children, but वो अपने talents which is 5th house को ज़्यादा public में express नहीं कर पाते. Okay, the 8th house is ruled by Aquarius. Aquarius is being out there in public. It is having a big social network. They have a very small social network, a very small social circle of friends, because it is coming in the 8th house. और ऐसे hidden friends होंगे, आपको पता नहीं चलेगा कि इसके दोस्त है भी कि नहीं. And whatever income they earn, they generally put it in secret sources of income. 11th house is ruled by Taurus, which we have already discussed. And okay, now coming to the 369 12th house, it is ruled, third house is ruled by Virgo. So that means Cancerians are very calculative in their speech. As it is, हमने देखा कि जो talents के houses है, that means the third house and the fifth house is governed by secretive signs or is governed by conservative signs. तो वो अपने अपने में स्पीच अपने टैलेंट्स को ज्यादा दिखाते नहीं है एंड दे आर वेरी पर्सनल एंड मेटिकुलस इन whatever hobbies they have. Okay, and now the sixth house is ruled by Sagittarius. Okay, now कर्क राशि ऐसी राशि होती है who will love to provide service to a temple or a guru because they are very caring राशि. Okay, so ये लोग आश्रम में जाके सेवा कर सकते हैं. And the more they serve, right, the more they serve in their sixth house, which is seva, the more their fortunes will rise, because Jupiter is ruling the sixth house and the ninth house both. That is why you have Meen Rashi coming in the ninth house, and that is why they are very open and accepting of people from new culture. As we have discussed ninth house, moving on to the 12th house. So they have hidden talents. 12th is the house of hidden talents, and Gemini is writing, so they have hidden talents when it comes to writing. Okay, now coming to Leo ascendant. Okay, so the fixed signs, Leo is the lion. He's all obviously proud. The fourth house is ruled by the Rashi of Scorpios. So that means what? They're very emotional, practical, and protective about their house, about their home, about their family, and about their personal space. And they are always in a mode of contemplation. Matlab subconscious, fourth house is the house of your personal space, and eighth house is the house of depth. So they are deep thinkers. Okay, seventh house is ruled by Aquarius, so that means they will have a spouse who will try to gain something from them, and they are likely to marry from their network circles, because 11th is network circles. Okay, the 10th house is ruled by the house of Taurus. So just like Taurus, they are very fond of stability and comfort in their office. मतलब उन्हें अपना ऑफिस भी एक राजा जैसा चाहिए, एक महल जैसा चाहिए. Correct. Now let's come to the second, fifth, eighth, 11th house. तो हम second, fifth, eighth, 11th देखेंगे, क्योंकि हमें पता है कि ये same होंगे, right? So that is governed by mutable. So what does that mean? They are very communicative when it comes to their families, when it comes to in when it comes to their their creative talents. So they love to express themselves to their families. Okay. So the sixth house is also a house of snobbery. Virgos are a little snobbish, so they're very snobbish about their upbringing. They're very calculative in their savings. Fifth house में Sagittarius आ रहा है. Sagittarius is your own personal beliefs, your morals. So they're very highly educated, and they will be very ethical leaders, and they will be very ethical politicians, because fifth is also politics. And their children will bring them good rise in fortune, and they will teach their children good values, because ninth is values. Okay, eighth house is ruled by Pisces, because see, Leo is meant to shine. Okay, it's not meant to be in isolation, but Pisces, that is why Pisces goes into their eighth house, because they cannot stay in isolation, although they crave isolation. Their karma for this life is to be popular. Okay, they will have hidden ancestral wealth, because 12th house has gone in the 8th, and they will like to make secret trips to ashrams without telling anybody. Okay, now 11th house is ruled by the vibrant sign of Gemini. So they are very good at marketing, they're very good at talking to people, and they're very good at selling things. Okay, now let's look at the 369th house, cardinal signs. So the third house is ruled by Libra. They're balanced and very tactful in their communication. Leos are somebody you would love to listen to. Sixth house is ruled by Capricorn. They don't really like hard work. And ninth house is ruled by Aries. So that means they are very, very dogmatic about their personal views. 12th house is ruled by Cancer. So they are caring, but in a very secretive way. वो अपने emotions ज़्यादा बाहर दिखाते नहीं है. Right? So coming to Libra ascendant. Okay. The Kendra houses are ruled by mutable signs. So that means in these area, these people are very flexible. They love to talk, and which makes sense, because Libra is the sign of people. It is the sign of public relations. Sorry, Virgo is a sign of caring for people. It is the sign of doing seva for people, right? So they are very intelligent people as they are by birth, right? And fourth house is ruled by Sagittarius, so they will be very born and they will be very philosophical in their views, and they will have access to higher wisdom from childhood, right? Their spouse is likely to be a person who will be extremely spiritual. Virgos are very practical, finance oriented, and Pisces will be very let go, very it is okay, very spiritual sign. Unlike the practical Virgo. Okay, in their careers, they will love to communicate and they will have a career which is related to finance, and they will be very good learner and communicator at work. Okay, now the second 2, 5, 8 houses are ruled by the cardinal sign, so that means they will have a balanced family life. They will have a they will like to bring order, because Libra is all about order to family assets and properties. Okay, and seeing the fifth house, Virgos will be very busy working, and they will not have time for children, or even if they have children, they will be very practical and disciplined in their upbringing with their children. अगर एट्थ हाउस को देखते हैं हम, so they are not meant to be self centered, because sixth house is the house of seva, sixth rashi is also the house of seva. And if they become selfish, then उनके एट्थ हाउस एक्टिवेट हो जाएगा, and that will not be good for them. Okay, they love to care about their family and friends, as seen from Cancer in the 11th house. Right, now the 3, 6, 9th house in their kundali is a fixed sign. So that means they have a love hate relations with their siblings. They like to write down things, and whenever a Virgo writes, they like to do a research, matlab each and every detail cover karna pasand karte like a Scorpio. Okay, sixth house is ruled by Aquarius, so because Virgo likes to sort things out, people will come to them to for help. That is why these people make very good attorneys and lawyers. Okay, they like to have stability in the education and upbringing. And from 12,000 Leo, we can see that they would like to have be a leader of some spiritual group in a foreign land. Okay, because Virgos love to teach. Okay, so मैं अभी थोड़ा सा स्पीड बढ़ा रही हूँ because of the paucity and time. So we'll just take, अभी हमें नेचर समझ में आ गए हैं, तो we'll just take cardinal, fixed and mutable. Okay, now Libra is governed by what? By It's a cardinal sign, right? So that means Kendra will also be cardinal. That means these people like to be leaders in themselves, in their home, in their marriage, and in their careers. So Libra is born basically to create that balance in that world, is to bring that balance of masculine and feminine energy. It is to help people make peaceful negotiations. Okay, मतलब दुश्मन से भी दोस्ती कर सकता है, वो एक लिब्रन होता है. Okay, so they are born in a very disciplined family. Mother can be a dictator, and they will not get much nourishment in life, which is why they are very caring towards other people. They are likely to have a spouse who will be very debatable, who will be argumentative, who will challenge them, who will be very individualistic, because it's a sign of Aries, as opposed to Libra, who is very communicative, who likes to balance things. The 10th house is ruled by Cancer. So because they like to care about people, it's a public relations sign. They will like to help people out at their work, और एक माँ जैसा स्वभाव रखेंगे. Or your mother can be a very career oriented person for a Libra ascendant. Okay, now they are very fixated when it comes to their family, their children, and their network circles. So Librans can be prone to food addictions. They have a love for sweets. Okay, with Aquarius in the fifth house, they will have a very good knowledge on public policy. They will get knowledge on how to read and understand people, about the law, about the rights of people, and they will make very good teachers. Eighth house say eighth house is Taurus. Okay, so they have a liking for occult. They will be very good at stabilizing unforeseen events, because there's an earth sign sitting in the unforeseen in the eighth house. Right, now 11th house is ruled by the sign of Leo. So they like to be leaders of the people, and they like to represent people's right. Okay, so the third, sixth, ninth, and the 12th house is ruled by the mutable signs. So that means in the third house, they are extremely ethical in their communication with their in whatever they teach and feel. Sixth house is governed by Pisces, so they are not very strong at they're not very strong at fighting because it's a very soft sign sitting there. They are accommodating of enemies and conflicts. That's why they make extremely good lawyers. Okay, so the ninth and the 12th house is ruled by the sign of Gemini and Virgo. So what does that mean? When Gemini goes to the ninth house, it means they're very open-minded and they're strong communicators of their personal philosophy. They love traveling and they like to have an open conversation on religion, philosophies, ethics, morality, etc. Now, 12th house is Virgo. Okay, Virgo believes in conflicts and having conflicts and understanding what is right, what is wrong. Libra believes in resolving conflicts. So if they get into a conflict, वो लोग loss में चले जाएंगे. Right. Okay. Okay, so Scorpio ascendant. A Scorpio ascendant. Okay, I think we have crossed the time mark for today. So let's come back to the slide. Okay, can we please share the presentation? Give me a minute. Okay, right. Okay, so as the time mark is up, and we have to still cover Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. We will take that up in our next session. और आपके लिए एक छोटा सा homework है. You have to, in the comment section, write about what you think is the what you think a Pisces ascendant is like. तो आपको अभी template मिल गया. You understood how to go about it, right? So follow the template, and you can either write it in the Excel sheet notes, or you can write it down in the comment section. If you have any more questions related to this topic, you can post your questions in the comments below. And if you are interested in increasing your knowledge about astrology, you can join our online astrology course on Vedic Jyotish, ticker given below. Until next time, Jai Gurudev.